Hello my friends, and welcome to Live for Speed. On this one we're going to do a Rallycross. I just thought I might show you some of the options of the setup of the car. So let's go single player. We want Fern Bay, and we'll go for Rallycross. We can reverse. Can make this really complicated, I suppose, but we'll go for regular. I'm not too familiar with this track, so Rallycross is a mixture of tarmac and mud, gravel, that kind of thing. So we'll OK that, and then we'll choose a car. I don't think a Formula 1 type car is applicable, do you? So we'll go to the garage, choose a car. Now let's see what would be almost suitable. Well, we've got well, this is basically a Toyota Celica, isn't it? A Celica, which is a 4x4 four-wheel drive, so that might be the best choice here. Rear, four. Is that the only four-wheel drive? I think it is. So let's go with this bad boy. What kind of liveries have we got? Just standard ones. We'll go with that. So down here we've got the setup options. Now I'm no professional with this car. But let's set it to its Rallycross settings, so it's higher in the suspension, give it more clearance. We can speculate what it will look like with the driver in, with its fuel in. We can see the forces, we can see the suspension, and we can see here we've got we can tow in the wheels, so the aim in or out, toe out. Can adjust the camber. If I look down here at the information, we're seeing we've got power to weight ratios, etc. Power to weight 141 watts per kilogram, which is 192 brake horsepower per ton. For our fuel at the start, we're just a light load really. We're just going to take a careful lap of this. Colours would be body. If I turn these forces off, etc., we could change the colour of the wheels. That's just aesthetics. But into the brakes, you can do maximum pressure, force, Newton per meter per wheel. So I'll just leave these as default. We've got anti-lock brakes. Leave it as per the default setup. Suspension, ride height reduction, etc. Stiffness of that suspension, the bump damping. Again, for the Rallycross, it's going to be slightly softer. Rebound, slightly more travel. Anti-roll, softer again. Ride height reduction. We're not going to do that, but this would alter the ride height there. Basically this is the rear axle settings, and this is the front, so that's the same repeating over there. Steering, we've got the maximum lock, how far you have to turn the wheel, or can turn the wheel rather. Parallel steer, that would be, I guess, if it has rear wheel steering. And the towing on the front and on the rear, the towing both set to 0 for this Rallycross default. The final drive is where we set the differential. We can have open diff, closed diff, lock diff rather, but then we can have different sort of limited slip differential, various settings there we can tweak should we want to. Some terms I don't understand, but here's the gear ratios, so first gear, second, etc. And final drive, you can shift it towards the more acceleration globally rather than individually here, or a longer sort of slower accelerating, higher top speed towards this end. Front torque split, well, it's a four-wheel drive car, so that's a setting related to that. Tyres, choose a tyre, that probably change the look of it rather than any actual effect. The tyre pressure, again for rally, that's going to be slightly lower than on tarmac, I believe. Front and rear settings there. The camber we can adjust there. We've also got a symmetric or an asymmetric bar, or pounds a square inch, or bar pressure ratings. PSI, not to be confused with me, SI. Passengers in this game can act as a if you're doing a race and you're doing a league and you've got some sort of penalty system or handicap system for winning, so that next time you get penalised by having depending on if you finished first, you ended up with 3 passengers. Anyway, let's go on and go, okay, so this is our car. We're not going to have any AI drivers, I don't think, computer controlled. What I want to do first is just have a practice, really. Yeah, no wind. We could have a wind effect, side wind, etc., headwind. I believe it could vary during the race. Let's go. So here we are in the pit lane, if you like, and let's just see. And I've not set on my options. Let's just set the controller to my wheel. There we are, an old one but a good one, Logitech Momo Racing. That's better. Our wheels drifting a bit. So we'll ease out, we'll go into gear and ease out of the pit lane. We'll look to the side. Yeah, we're playing this in virtual reality, guys, so I've got my nice headset on. So it looks, might not look it to you or there, but in the replay, in the video, but yeah, I've played this a lot. When we were playing the league, I didn't use the VR headset at all, and we played many a track, many a lap, and it's a great game. Even at that, the feel through the wheel, and again, I would recommend you have a steering wheel, pedals for this sort of racing game. It's more of a simulation than an arcadey game, so it's pretty authentic. Yeah, we played many a lap on many a track, so I got used to it in normal 2D, but now we're in stereoscopic 3D in my headset here, and you can possibly tell just a little bit by the way I'm able to glance at the mirrors that this is VR, and from within my view this does improve the immersion, the feeling of being in the car at track level 100%. It's fantastic. I can look into the corner as I steer. I remember when we were watching, remember the film Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, and they have the minecart chase. I remember on the BBC they always used to show occasionally the behind the scenes, the making of that film, and they focused in on that minecart scene, and one of the things they pointed out when they were building the modelling and the filming of the cart going down the track is when the cart would come to a corner, what they've noticed about real life is you look into the corner like this before you actually physically turn. So that's what VR can afford you. You can do these very subtle moves with your head. They haven't advanced VR technology yet to do eye tracking, otherwise it'd be more subtle. yeah, I'm looking around. I'm having a good view into the corner, try and get those apexes onto the gravel. So there's a severe verge here, yeah, gone up it. But in this game I've been used to driving the two-wheel drive, the front-wheel drive car throughout that league race we were in. So this being a four-wheel drive is quite different. Now the game Live for Speed started really, it's an indie project, and started in 2003. At least that's the copyright on the website. You can get this game on your PC for free from lfs.net, and that gives you the basic, a few cars to access and several tracks. And if you want, I think the majority of us, we upgrade, pay about £20 to upgrade to what they call the S2 license pack, which opens up several more cars, loads more tracks and variations, and that's more than enough to satisfy 99% of the players, I would say. You don't necessarily need to go for the S3 license, it doesn't add much more. And the thing about the cars and the tracks in this game, well, the cars are not licensed cars, so this is not a Toyota Celica. It's to all intents and purposes, that's what it looks like. So it's obviously sort of a homage to one, but they can't call it a Toyota Celica. So the front-wheel drive car I was driving, to my mind, was a Vauxhall Calibra. You get the idea. Later on, many years later, they managed to license a few cars, but it was sort of when they started looking at incorporating Formula 1 style cars in the game. They had Formula whatever they called it, and it wasn't Formula 1 spec, it was the other Formula XR or something. But the cars, through a steering wheel, the force feedback, on the track, the rumbles, the sound is pretty good. It all feels great. And the tracks themselves, again, they're not licensed, they're not real tracks. I think there's an exception that came along later, probably the Kyoto track, I believe. I could be wrong there. But no, the majority of the tracks are pure fabrication. But hopefully, as you can maybe see from this example, they are well designed, and they give, you know, great flow, and they do feel good to race around. So let's see if I'm brave enough to sort of put my foot down a bit, and you can see me crash and burn probably. Get some opposite lock going. Don't know about tail slides in one of these things. The tight turn. Get a bit of sideways screeching of the wheels. Counter that slide, a bit of opposite steering there. Look around the car a bit. Let's see if we can do a lap. It'll be nothing spectacular, but see if you can stick with me. Let's see. Ooh, slippy transition from surface to surface, and this surface especially rough. Bit of air there. Whoa, a bit more. Oh, hey. But yeah, I wouldn't play this with a controller. I've always been a bit of a fan of the old steering wheel. Had one for about 20 years, probably this one. So it's hard to go back when you're doing a sim racer. I mean, when you're doing an arcade racer, then by all means, you know, the Xbox, PlayStation controllers, Switch controllers, fine. But for the nuance of more of a sim racer, no, you're absolutely best off with a steering wheel and pedals. I'm not so au fait that I use gears. I tend to leave that to automatic. The steering wheel set I've got comes with a gear stick integrated, but it's just a up and down, a bit like the old Outrun in the arcades. So up gears, down gears. So I tend not to use it. It's not realistic. And I'm getting lazy in my old age. My wife's got a manual car, which I struggle with these days because I've had a hybrid, which is essentially a single gear, continuously variable transmission, essentially an automatic for the past 8 years. So it's hard when I have to drive the family in her car to go back to that. So here we are doing automatic. I think we're doing not so bad. It's a bit respectable. I'm not going to break any lap records, but it feels again. Yes, hold that slide. So I hope you like that. Yeah, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, share with your friends, comment down below, let me know what you think. Maybe, you know, I appreciate a lot of you perhaps console gamers, and this is PC only as far as I know. But it's a lightweight game. It'll run on a simple laptop if that's what you have, if you have access to one of those, or if you have an older computer. My computer here is from 2013, so it's by no means premium. But this runs at, you know, no problem, 90, 120 frames a second. You can cap it, but it'll fly along. It's not graphically intensive, but it's just enough to be immersive. So yeah, if you have access to a PC, highly recommend this as a great racer. Wide variety of tracks and variations within those tracks, as you might have noticed, picked up on when I was showing that side of things. You can do reverse, you can really open them up. This is just one section of a much larger track, and there are, 7 or 8 tracks, each with their own permutations. And you can get some good racing from the artificial intelligence control computers, but I've noticed when you're racing them, they give you no quarter, no space. If you've got the racing line, they just stick to their guns of what they're sort of programmed to do. But they're a good measure of some decent performance. You can set their proficiency level from sort of novice to advanced professional, so that they can really test you. But it's good to get ahead of them in a clear space. If you try and get inside on the inside line on a corner and it's a close call, they'll just run into you. It's like playing some fool on online gaming. But yeah, you can set up parties with friends if they've got the game, and why not? It's free at the base level. Give it a try. So again, Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already for more. Check out my channel if there's some other Live for Speed fun on there. Just recently got this VR going, so I've just done a few fun little videos exploring that in this game. But I play retro games through to modern, so I got quite an eclectic mix on there. Hope you find something you like. Thanks very much for watching today, and I'll see you on the next video.